Sports Bash Philly Radio Draft, and that means here's the way it will work, guys. Pete Thompson will draft. He's got the first pick coming up here. By the way, people have been text messaging our board.
What are they saying?
I will read them off in a second. Let me give the number for the people. 403-0973. That's the text board. Send us a text message. Who do you think Pete should draft right here with this first pick? This is the way it works, guys, so the listeners out there know what's going on. We're having a little fun. It's the middle of the summer. We're going to relax. We're playing golf today.
Got a little
We're
help
kicking back.
from AJ.
Oh.
There's a new name that I might be able to add to my potential.
I don't like that website there, though.
You don't trust it?
No.
Okay.
So we'll have to get more sources on that before we bring that up. All right. The way this works is the draft will be today. It'll be for 1 full year from today to this date next year. You will draft 1 player from each of the 4 Philly sports teams and no more than 3 players from any one franchise, Phillies, Flyers, Sixers, or Eagles. At the end of the year, the 4 of us will come back together. We will go over the rosters, and you will vote on which team you thought was the best collective group, who had the best year in Philly sports. You cannot vote for your own team, and the team that ends up with the highest score at the end, the other 3 guys will take that guy out for dinner. The listeners can also chime in. We will post our rosters on our website, 973ESPN.com, and you can vote throughout the year. Your voting may change as the players change as well. So it'll be a lot of fun. It'll be a year-long thing that we will be keeping track of, and we're looking forward to your feedback on that. Send us a text message throughout the show. Who do you think we should be drafting when that spot comes up? 609-403-0973. Now, PT,
yes.
People have texted in. Fletcher Cox. We've got another guy who says, Ghost. He believes Shane Gostisbehere should be the number 1 pick. Another text message here says he thinks you're going to take Claude Giroux, but you should take Maikel Franco.
Okay.
Got another one for Fletcher Cox, a couple more Fletcher Cox.
Wow,
Fletcher Cox seems to be a guy that's pretty popular. We've got, of course, other names that we haven't mentioned there. So, without further ado, Josh, by the way, before we get started here, do you have anything that you want to ask? Do you have any questions? Do you have anything that you want to interject with before we get this thing cruising here?
Yes, let's not take forever with the picks.
That was pretty fast. Like, let's get it going.
Let's get her
Well,
going.
like, I don't want a 10-minute clock in between the picks here kind of thing, you know.
We're going to discuss it a little bit.
Oh, come on. There's not going to be 10 minutes here. We're having fun.
Yeah.
What did Judge Mills Lane used to say? Let's get it on.
Let's get it on, boys.
We want to be able to ridicule Pete's picks a little bit.
Sure, a little insight, little analysis on the PT. All right.
Tell me when you're ready.
PT's up. Let's see. Let's see what he goes with.
Well, I appreciate all those text messages. I appreciate the person that thought Ghost. I very much appreciate the person that thought I didn't know who Maikel Franco was. Thank you for thinking that I don't stay up late and watch the Phillies. I am aware of their roster. However, with all the picks that are out there and all the names that are out there, if Brian Colangelo and Brett Brown thought enough of this gentleman to draft him number 1 overall in the NBA draft, I am taking the 6'11" player Ben Simmons.
Oh,
wow.
Ben
that just
Simmons is my
Mike
top
Gill.
pick.
Ben Simmons goes number 1 overall.
Take that, Mike Gill.
Broke his heart, Pete Thompson.
I'll tell you what. Look, Ben Simmons, if he is the best player in the city from this day through next year.
It's a genius pick.
Well, come on. It means the
It's a
Sixers are
no-brainer.
going in the right direction.
Isn't it a no-brainer, Mike?
How the heck were you going to put Claude Giroux ahead of Ben Simmons?
I don't know. I think he was under consideration. He should be under consideration.
He should be
I bet you if I don't take him, you're going to consider him.
We'll see.
What if I do take him?
Jedi mind trick.
Well, let's ask around. Bill, would you have taken Ben Simmons number 1?
Yes, I would have.
Josh, would you have taken Ben Simmons number 1?
That's
Not Josh.
You know what? I wasn't thinking like the first overall pick, but I would have considered him definitely.
All right.
Yeah, I definitely
if
was
I had
thinking.
the number 1 pick, I too would have taken Ben Simmons.
Great.
I think he.
So
was the
already
right
I feel like I've succeeded because I've taken
Thank you,
somebody
Pete.
that you wanted.
I think that's why he did it.
I don't know. I mean,
Gee, thanks, Bill.
That's why I think he
not
did
the fact
it.
that he's talented or he could be the rookie of the
You
year.
are wearing
or he
orange
could-
today.
yeah. Well, I'm going to pick second.
That was all misdirection.
And my pick will agree with a lot of the listeners. I'm going to take Fletcher Cox because I think in this defensive system, you're going to look at a guy that's going to cause all sorts of havoc. You're going to look at a guy who's just going to be a dominating force for that money. He better be worth the number 2 pick. So I'm going to go Fletcher Cox as my first pick, number 2 overall.
I guess that means I'm up. It's going to surprise some people. But I'm looking forward for this guy to have a great year And I'm going with Zach Ertz.
Whoa. PT, I'd like to hear your comments on that.
Where's Brent Selleck fit into this? Do you understand that even though Andy Reid, a.k.a. Doug Peterson, likes the tight end, Zach Ertz hasn't lived up to his potential yet?
Put a lot of thought into that, Mike.
Zach Ertz has not lived up to what the Eagles have hoped for yet.
Wow.
So God bless you, Schweimer.
I'll tell you
I hope it works.
Josh, I mean, I say Ertz. I like Ertz's
By the way,
potential in this offense, but I think
is that a reach, Mike?
Yeah, I think so.
I just noticed that Billy Schweim's initials are BS, which is what he's full of.
Mike, you don't like that pick?
I like it.
I
think in the first round, number 3 overall. Yeah, I think that's a guy you could have got pretty much. Put it this way. He has not entered my brain for my first 3 rounds.
Well, I'm just going to show you my first
thanks.
Real quick. All right. I had Fletcher Cox.
Okay. There's other sports teams in this town.
I know. Well, yeah.
All right, Josh, you're up. I'd like to get Josh's reaction.
Here
to that
comes
pick,
the
by
double.
Well, first of all, I'm actually very surprised Billy went with Zach Ertz just because I was assuming Billy was going to grab the flyer since Pete didn't. So I'm actually like a little shocked right now. I'm also surprised that Pete, nothing against Pete, but I was really convinced that Pete might go a flyer just because Pete knows he's not going to be able to pick for a while. So I thought, well, maybe he might go a flyer and get his hands on the guy and get it out of the way.
Yeah. No, got to go with the most talented.
Keep that in mind, too. The strategy involved that you have to have one player from each team. So if you think that team is devoid of talent, you might want to get that guy a little early. Go ahead, Josh. You got the double bubble here.
Yeah, so with the 4th overall pick, I'm going to take Shane Gostisbehere.
Ghost, all right. And that was a guy that many people out there thought should have gone number 1.
And with my 5th overall pick, it's going to be a little tougher because I know I'm not going to be able to pick for a while. So I think I am going to go. See, this one's tough because
you told us not to take long.
Yeah, well, I'm also typing while I'm talking at the same time here. I'm not as talented as you are, Mike Gill.
Peter?
While we're young.
Peter?
We have a gorgeous Ford Fusion that just showed up from Gentilini Motors. You can win that today if you knock it in the jar from 170 yards out on the first hole here. A nice blue Ford Fusion. Of course, I'm sure they'd let you pick your own color if you.
Got some text message reactions coming in, by the way. Gentleman wants to know why Josh is thinking about his pick here, the guy who told us to go fast. How do you figure out who has the best year? Points? Basketball? No, it's really subjective. You just say, look, that guy had a good year. You know, he exceeded expectations.
He made the Pro Bowl.
Yeah, exactly. You know, it will be subjective to
So
us,
this
the
is
voters.
not going to be one in your first pick. It's going to be one in your middle round picks.
It will be a full roster of 10. If you have,
unlike the NBA.
right, if you have 10 players and 6 of them had, you know, all-star year, a Pro Bowl year, and one, you know, it's really a subjective situation. But we're going to let the listeners
Good
look
Lord,
at their
did
roster.
Josh pick his 5th pick yet?
Oh, you guys are still
right?
talking, so I actually already wrote it down. My
Okay.
my second pick, my 5th overall selection is going to be Odubel Herrera.
Odubel Herrera.
That's a little sneaky one there, Bill. You know why? Because he could be the Phillies all-star representative. Does that get him bonus points in your basket?
I like it. I like the pick.
You're on the clock.
I like the pick.
You got to back up Zach Ertz here.
Zach Ertz. I will be.
So you're in the 4th round?
All right, here we go.
With the 6th overall pick in the Philly player draft, Billy Schweim selects.
You should have been doing this while
I'm going
Josh
to make
was
sure.
thinking.
I'm going to make sure I get the right pick.
Yeah.
With the 6th overall pick.
I'm going to go with Claude Giroux.
Oh,
you
there
know.
we go.
Claude Giroux, I think you should have been your first pick.
I
And
got him.
Now you got him in the 2nd round. So that's good value. You backed it up with good value there, Schweiner. All right. I'm on the board. And this one, whoa. I'm
That's
on the
bad.
board here,
There you
PT. And
I
I
won't
want
know
to
who
try
won.
I want to try to get a guy that you would want to take, but I don't think that's going to happen with this pick here. And by the way, you can always interject with who you think we should take when the pick is on the board by sending us a text message at 609-403-0973. With my second pick right now, right here, this could be a little controversial, but I'm going to take Joel Embiid with the second pick. And
I like that pick.
You know, that will be the guy that, again, if he plays, I think he is going to change the franchise. If he doesn't play, I think a lot of this will be debated for years and years and years or whether or not it worked out or not. But I'm betting on Embiid being able to play, and I'm betting on him to be able to play at least 50, 60 games and making that big of an impact.
Because I'm going to get a steak dinner out of this, Pete.
A lot of
That's
dinners
what it
flying
is.
around here.
We don't know where this dinner is yet. It's back to me.
Well, we'll all converse together.
That's fine.
That's what we'll do it as a team, PT.
Right.
That's what we do.
So it's back to me.
You get the double bubble pick here.
I do get a double bubble pick.
You got one Sixer on your roster. You were allowed 2 more Sixers.
That's correct. Let's see. With the 8th overall pick, I am going to take Sam Bradford.
Whoa.
Wow.
I
like
like Mike.
the pick.
I like that pick, man.
That's bold.
I like the pick because he's betting that Bradford's going to have a bounce-back year as the quarterback in this offense, and you're really saying that Sam's going to make it difficult for the Eagles to make a decision down the road.
And to cover my considerably large rear end, with the 9th overall pick, I am going to take Carson Wentz.
Wow.
Oh, I think that's.
Billy's pissed.
I don't. No. I think that's a waste.
I think
he's
it's
not
a
going
reach.
to play.
Yeah. I think that's a reach. Only because what if he doesn't take a snap? Now
Actually, I
your
like
third
that you
round
made
pick
that.
doesn't play.
I like you made that pick because there's other people that I like that are on the board that I was not
Yeah.
even entertaining the idea. Of
I'm
taking
surprised by that
I'm
pick.
very
only
shocked
because
at that pick.
There's a chance he doesn't play at all.
Fine.
Okay.
Then the Eagles are doing what they wanted to do, which is groom him appropriately.
Then the PT's not doing what he wants to do, have a free dinner.
He's more
There
worried
is
about
no
not paying.
point. There is no point that every guy on a 10-player roster has to knock it out of the park.
That's true.
You're evaluating all 10
No, but
guys,
if-
but one guy, Ben Simmons, could have a big enough year that he sort of covers for the inefficiencies of some of your other picks.
Maybe. But Pete.
Plus, I guarantee you, well, maybe not. Maybe I'm wrong. One of the other 3 of you, I believe, would have taken Carson Wentz.
No, absolutely not.
I certainly he would not be on my board.
Not on my board. Not even on my
Wasn't
board.
on mine
no.
either.
Thanks.
All right. I got some text messages coming in here, by the way. I got one guy says, speed it up, Josh, LOL. Another guy says he's going to get 14 minutes per game. Come on, Gill. Well, if Embiid fails, then my team, like PT's, will probably fail as well.
If Carson Wentz doesn't play, then I'm the biggest dummy in the world.
All right, I'm on the board here, and this is kind of tough because I got one Eagle, I got a Sixer. Do I double up on one team, or do I try to knock another guy out here? And what I'm going to do, I'm going to go with Maikel Franco.
Oh, you just took my guy, Mike.
Well, I'm going with Franco
You
because
sunk my battleship.
keep in mind, I'm going with Franco here because he
Rats.
still has the rest of this year, and then he'll have the first half of next year, right? He'll have April, May, and June, and some of next year to really compile a bunch. So he'll have the rest of this year and the beginning of next year to really put up some big numbers. And I think Franco is starting to turn it around. He's played a lot better. So Billy, you're on the board.
Well, I don't know if I should spread it out right away or double up. I'll tell you what, I'm gonna go out. I'm gonna drop down a little bit, and I'm gonna go after a Philly. How about Vince Velasquez?
Ooh, I like that one. That's a good one there, Vincent Velasquez. Who, hey, I'll tell you what, guys. To me, he's a dark horse to be the Phillies representative at the All-Star game, too. He's got 6 wins. He's got a lot of strikeouts. I actually wrote that piece for 97.3 ESPN.com about 5 guys from the Phillies that can make the All-Star game, and he's one of the guys because he's 6-2. The ERA is pretty good. He's got a lot of strikeouts. That's a sneaky pick, Schweiner. That makes up for
Savvy?
the
Is that savvy for you, Mike?
I like it. Let's go to Josh. He's got the double pick.
This draft is not going how I thought it would. Let's just put it that way. All right, so next pick is from the Eagles. I'm going to take Rodney McLeod.
Ooh, Rodney McLeod.
I had him on my board, Josh, but he was down a little lower. Got to be honest.
Hey,
with
you know what? A lot of people say he could have a really big year. It's a sneaky little pick there. PT, where was he on your board?
Yeah, he's right on my board. He's right in my top 5
He didn't
Eagles
even have
that I'm
a
looking
board.
at.
He didn't even have a board, Mike.
Oh, God. This is just too funny. This is too funny.
This is fun, though.
And the next pick I'm going to take, I'm actually kind of conflicted about this pick, but I feel like just as necessity of the way things are going, I'm going to take Wayne Simmons.
Ooh,
Wow.
a gutsy pick. Someone that's had a couple great years now, back-to-back, right, PT?
Yeah,
I hope
Wayne
he,
Train.
and I hope he continues it because not only is he a great player, he's a great guy. But
Hold on. By the way,
it's tough.
By the way, for Josh, that is his second flyer. So he's only allowed one more flyer on his team. So he's got Ghost, Odubel Herrera, Rodney McLeod, and Wayne Simmons. That's his first 4. Bill Schweim will add his 4th player. He has an Eagle, a Flyer, a Philly. Will he go Sixer right here?
I am looking at the Sixer board, Mike.
We got some people texting in at 609-403-0973 on our text board, and there's one name that keeps popping up. Let's see if Billy hits it.
There's actually a guy on the text board who's not even a Sixer, but okay.
He's not.
Pick that one.
Well, see, it's scary because I mean it's not 100% that he's coming over.
Ooh.
Oh, that's a strong hint. You turkey.
That is a real.
That's a strong hint. You turkey.
Mike, can I defer to you, Mike, because you're the basketball. If I were to give you two names and you pick one.
Well, let me tell you, PT just showed me something, and I said I'm not believing that article because it was a website I didn't recognize, but the article said that he has announced something, but I have not heard that anywhere. So.
All right, Michael A. Gill.
Hmm?
I'm looking at you, and I'm asking you if
I'm not going to pick a guy for you.
No, but you're not going to pick
Bill,
him for
Bill,
me.
don't do what you think you're doing, okay?
No?
Just don't.
No, let him do it, for God's sakes. What are you doing, Josh? Don't talk about his stuff like that.
Mike?
Yeah, Josh is the
Mike,
guy
no,
at the real
Mike.
fantasy draft that starts yelling players out, and you're like, I was going to take that guy.
Mike,
Yes.
if you had to pick, knowing what you know right now, sitting in your seat right now, Dario Sarge or Nerlens Noel, who are you picking?
You're telling me to give you a guy is basically what you're
No,
asking.
I'm asking your because who knows? I might just want to go the other way. I might just want to go the other way. You could say Dario Sarge.
How about this? I think Dario will be a better offensive player.
Will he
and
be
I
in
think
Philly?
Nerlens will be a more impactful defensive player.
Will he be in Philly?
I believe he will be. I mean, I think he will. I mean, I don't have that answer at this today, June 28th, 2016. I do not have the
He may
answer.
be here, but he just may be here after the calendar year of the contest. Come on, Billy, make a pick. Grow a pair.
Give me Nerlens Noel.
Aha.
And by the way, Nerlens Noel, there's a good possibility that he could be traded. So that's a risky pick. But I take Noel over Sarge in that situation.
Because he's here.
Yeah, I mean, to me, Noel is, look, if I look at your roster at the end and I'm voting on who's got the best team, all right, and Giroux leads the team in goals, Velasquez leads the team in wins, to me, Noel is probably going to lead the team in block shots. He might lead the team in rebounds. You might have three guys who have some pretty big stats.
Plus, I wanted to fill my requirement.
Notice I didn't say Ertz about anything.
Mike, did you notice my strategy, too? I wanted to fill my requirement of getting at least one guy from each team on the board right away.
I got you.
When Bradford breaks his leg in week 1, you guys are going to be really smart looking
at me.
at
That's not right, Pete.
All right, I'm on the board here, and this is a tough one as well because I've got an Eagle, I've got a Sixer, I've got a Philly. Ooh, man, which way? Do I go down that road or do I try to pair somebody up here? And, you know, here's the one tricky spot where we are with what we're doing right now is NBA free agency has not happened. Ooh. So the Sixers could be adding a player that we would like to get our hands on here, but we're realistically not going to be able to do that. But I'm going to go down the road of, man, you took a good player that I was thinking about right about here, and that was Velasquez. He's a guy that I like.
Snuck up on me.
He did, man. I like that Velasquez pick. But I'm going.
And I'll tell you what, Mike. You know what actually convinced me, thinking in advance, his performance the other night, coming off an injury, coming off a 15-day disabled stint.
Yeah.
I think that takes, to come back and throw as well as he did, Mike.
I like that.
He jumped up on my board.
I like that pick a lot. So I'm going right here. Man, this is a tough one. Man, you really got me thinking.
I got him flustered, PT.
Yeah, I like it.
He does. He does. So, man. All right, I got. Man.
Ooh, he's having problems with this, Josh.
Don't know which way.
He's fidgeting in his chair. His eyebrows are going up and down.
Give me. I'm going to go a flyer here, and I'm going with the rookie, Ivan Provorov.
You know what? That's a great pick. You know why?
Because I was going to take him the next pick.
I'm going Ivan Provorov. I think he's going to come into the league.
Calder Cup, maybe?
And right, he could be the Flyers' first Calder Cup winner ever, and that would give me some big points.
Mike, that's I'm going to give you kudos. That's an outstanding pick.
Thank you.
Outstanding.
All right.
Well, since he took a guy in the future, I took a guy that I think is going to be up this year. I'm going to go with J.P. Crawford.
He's a guy that's been on my board there, Peter. I've thought about him. In fact, I thought about him right there in that pick. Keep in mind, he could be up in August or September.
And
he
call
most
up,
likely will be up here next year.
So J.P. Crawford is my
J.P.
pick.
You got another pick right here.
Yes, and then my next pick, so I have a Sixer, an Eagle, and a Philly.
You can only take one more Eagle.
Yeah, that is correct. But I am going to take one, and I'm going to have it be Jordan Matthews.
Jordan Matthews.
Not a bad pick.
I like that.
Not a bad pick.
Yeah, I think that's a good
Well, I'm glad
solid,
at 16 and 17 I could redeem myself.
That's a good solid pick. And the pick that I was debating between, I'm on the board, was Provorov, and the guy that I was debating between him was Jordan Hicks. I think Jordan Hicks
Another good pick.
will have a good year. He was a big playmaker in the middle there. So Jordan Hicks will be the guy.
I'm hoping for the fan vote because subjectively fans like offensive players tend to, their stats tend to pop more than defensive
That's true.
players.
More glamorous.
And Jordan Hicks had some good defensive stats. He had the interception returns,
great.
the touchdowns,
Looked great
he had the
until he
fumble
got hurt.
recoveries. Yeah. All right, Billy, you're on the board.
I am on the board, and I've fulfilled all my requirements. Now it's for a little dessert here. Okay.
By the way, we are in the
Cherries
fifth
flambe.
round. We will have Bill's pick and then Josh's pick, and we will suspend the draft after 5 rounds. We'll pick up the second half of the draft at 4:05.
Okay.
So we'll have the final 5 rounds coming up at 4:05. The first 5 rounds will be in the books after Bill and Josh's pick, and then Josh will start off the 6th round at 4:05. But so far, a lot of great interaction coming in on our text board, 403-0973. There's a guy out there that somebody keeps texting, and they want us to take. Will Bill take him? Let's find out.
I got a pick right here. You ready for this, Pete?
Yeah.
How about that, Michael Northworth?
Oh, Noivy.
That's interesting. I like that. I mean,
Michael
you're
Neuvert.
basically suggesting that he could be the main guy over Steve Mason.
I think so.
All right.
I think
PT, what do you
down
think
the
about
stretch.
that?
I think down the stretch.
I know you're not a big
He
Mason fan.
he had a better.
I'm not anti-Mason. I just thought that Noivy played better over longer stretches, and I think that
Absolutely.
Mason tends to get the jitters a little bit. He has nagging injuries, or he lets stuff get in his head, or he complains a little bit.
And I've heard from several different people how good of a goalie he is that I trust and take their advice.
All right. So this will be the final pick of the 5th round here, and then we will suspend the draft until 4:05. We will finish the draft in that 4 o'clock hour.
He gets 2, though, right?
Well, he'll do this 5th pick, and then he'll start the 4 o'clock round,
got
this 4 o'clock hour with his 6th round pick. So, Josh, who is your final pick here in this 3 o'clock hour?
Gentlemen, I'm going to go safe, and I'm going to pick Jared Eichhoff.
Oh,
Okay,
wow.
that's a great pick.
Jared Eichhoff had a great outing last night.
Sure did.
He has looked really good. Now,
Great
somebody
outing.
made a case for him to be an all-star. The problem is he has 10 losses.
Right.
Yeah.
But he has pitched really well even with the losses. The losses you can't really look at and say that he stunk. His numbers are really good around the board. So there we go. 5 rounds in the book so far. We'll read off the team. Tell us who you think has had the best first 5 rounds. Send us a text, 403-0973. The first pick was Pete Thompson. He took Ben Simmons, followed by Sam
Much
Bradford,
to your surprise.
Carson Wentz, J.P. Crawford, and Jordan Matthews. Second pick was me. I took Fletcher Cox, Joel Embiid, Maikel Franco, Ivan Provorov, and Jordan Hicks. Bill Schweim took third. He went with Zach Ertz, Claude Giroux, Vincent Velasquez, Nerlens Noel, and Michael Neuvert. And Josh, he was the 4th pick. He took Shane Gostisbehere, Odubel Herrera, Rodney McLeod, Wayne Simmons, and Jared Eichhoff. So send us a text, 403-0973. Whose team through the first 5 rounds do you like the best? We are live here at Heritage Links Golf Club. We're going to come back. Rick Sutcliffe is going to join us. I want to ask him about what he sees from Aaron Nola. How about Vincent Velasquez? And what does he like about Jared Eichhoff? We'll talk some Phillies. We'll talk some baseball with the former Cy Young winner and PT.
Sut.
Heritage Links Golf Club today with Gentilini Motors. The car is in front of us.
It's a beautiful Ford Fusion.
We'll tweet that out on our Twitter page. And let everybody see what that car looks like because, hey, I'll tell you what, that's a...
And what's the distance? It's 99 yards to the pin?
No. Whoa. Miss Lippy, be quiet over there. It's 170 yards
All right.
for the car. The car is blue. Billy likes the newspaper.
All right, Josh, I hope you have a pick ready, Josh, because I just got dumber listening to those two.
I've been sitting here for about 5 minutes waiting for you to get to me.
All right, Josh Hennig, we are restarting the draft with round 6. Josh currently has Shane Gostisbehere with his first pick, Odubel Herrera, Rodney McLeod, Wayne Simmons, Jared Eichhoff, and this next player. Who is it?
All right, guys, I'm going with my first risk draft pick so far in the draft. I've heard a lot of good things about this guy, and the fact that he went out and invested in himself a ball shooting gun to catch balls encourages me. So I'm taking Nelson Aguilar with my next pick.
I like it. You know, Aguilar,
if he's around,
he's a little hot water right now. But hey, I think right now either of the two receivers, PT, you took Jordan Matthews. I would have taken him ahead of Aguilar too. But remember, first round pick and a second round pick. Maybe this is the year that those two guys both hit their potential at the same time.
And I hate to tell you this, though, Mike and Pete, Josh, I didn't even have him on my board because for fear that he might not even, for the trouble he's in.
I don't know.
Yeah, that trouble will go away.
All right, well.
I know it's a good defense attorney.
Football player at a gentleman's club, that usually gets swept under the rug.
All right, we'll see.
I mean, not trying to blow it off.
No,
but
I hear you.
Typically, you know, and if he does get in trouble, I can't imagine that he would miss games. Put it that way. But I don't mind Aguilar being picked in this round, sixth round right here.
Yeah.
All right, Bill, you're up.
All right.
By the way, Bill, you have 2 Flyers on your team. You can only take 1 more Flyer.
And I'm going to take a Flyer. How about that Jacob Voracek?
And
Jakub Voracek.
He was the guy we were asking about earlier,
That's
guys.
right.
Would you have taken Voracek or Simmons?
Let's see how many. So Billy's done on Flyers. Giroux, Neuvert, and Voracek. Flyers are
You like
closed.
that, Pete?
Yeah, Voracek's a guy I was looking at.
Would you have taken Voracek or Simmons?
Simmons. But now he's got both of them, so, you know.
No, he doesn't.
No,
he
doesn't.
has
I don't
Voracek
know.
and Drew.
Who is Simmons?
You got Voracek
Josh
and
took
Drew.
Simmons.
Oh, sorry.
2/3 of the line.
All right, I'm on the clock. Ooh, it sneaks up on me really fast. You know, this is I'm kind of torn here because and I have 2 guys that I'm trying to debate, and both of them are in a spot where one of them might not be here, and the other one might not be here. But if you take both of them, you're getting a steal at this stage of the draft.
Right.
You know, man, do I go that route and take one of those guys and just say, hopefully they're still here, or do I try to get creative at this stage of the game there, Peter Thompson?
Right. Well, if I'm thinking the way I think you're thinking, I'll probably take the one that you don't take.
I'm going this way, though. I'm going to go with Ryan Matthews.
Ooh.
And Ryan Matthews, I think, as the running back in this system, if you go back and look
Safe pick.
at Andy Reid's running backs with LaShawn McCoy, Brian Westbrook,
Safe
if you
pick.
go to Kansas City and look at Jamal Charles, and then when Charles got hurt, they went to Charchandrick West. When West got hurt, they went to Spencer Ware. Running backs in this system seem like they work. So that will be my last
Very
eagle.
astute pick,
I will
Mike.
go Ryan Matthews
Very astute
for
pick.
me.
Now, when you said a guy that might not be here, and at the risk of him not being here, but maybe he's not the guy that gets moved, I will go Jaleel Okafor.
Pete, you know, I think at this point he might be a first-round, second-round level player, but I think we're all just nervous that he might not be here, guys, right?
Yeah.
Is that why, put it this way, the reason why, Josh, I haven't taken Jaleel Okafor is because of fear that he wouldn't be here.
That's the same reason for me. I'm worried that he might get traded. The same reason why I didn't take Nerlens Noel.
And then who took Nerlens? That was Billy Schweim.
Yep.
Yeah. And now I get another pick, right?
Yes, you do.
Okay. So for my next pick, I am going to take somebody that is been overlooked, somebody that is a restricted free agent, somebody that Ron Hextall is hoping to sign, and maybe he'll finally live up to his agent. Braden Shen.
I think that's a great pick.
That is a good pick.
You know, he
He
completely
redeemed himself.
Yeah, Pete, that's a pick there that I think you might really make out on later on here. Braden Shen, Schweiner.
Agreed.
They just made the qualifying offer to him,
Yeah.
but Shen's a guy who could score 30 goals.
He's young still. He's 24.
You signing him?
Yeah.
He's been an enigma
Oh,
guy,
yeah.
though, right?
But I think
He
he's
played a lot better
out
with-
year, Pete.
Played a lot better when his brother Luke got traded. He seemed to
Yeah.
find a role on that top line, and he definitely has enough in the tank. If you go up and down the Flyers roster of who could put the puck in the net, he was the guy that could put the puck in the net.
24-year-old. He's got a big career in front of him, I think.
My first Flyer.
Yeah, and you know what? If
How about that?
if his name would have popped to my head at the time, I might have taken him over Provorov, and I'm sure I probably would have got Provorov here.
You didn't do your homework, Mike.
Well, you know, you're right. I forgot about Shen because he's a restricted free agent. He was on the free agent list, so he's a guy that didn't really ultimately. But I think that's a really good pick.
Good
Pete.
pick.
Thank you.
I'm
That makes
happy
it-
to tell you
thank
that.
Make up
you.
for Carson Wentz, Mike.
I can't wait to see how this all works out. I just can't wait to see how this works out.
I like a nice fillet.
All right,
Birthday
here we go.
sauce.
Here we go. I've got 3 Eagles, so I can't take an Eagle. I have 1 Sixer, 1 Philly, and 1 Flyer. This is where it starts to get tricky. This is where you got to get a little creative. But you brought up a guy earlier, and I was hoping that you – now, at that time, I would have taken the guy you went with, which was Nerlens Noel. But right now, I'm going to go with Dario Saric because I think in the 7th round, there's less risk here if he doesn't ever play this season. Now, keep in mind, this draft is from June 29th, 2016 to 2017. So it's 1 full year from today.
Right.
If Dario doesn't play, then I get no production from my 7th round pick. But 7th round, it's a little deeper in the draft. I'm willing to take a little bit more of a chance, so I'll go Dario in the 7th.
Good pick, Mike.
Thank you, Bill.
Good pick, Mike.
I needed your stamp of approval.
You can sleep at night now.
I'll get a full 8 hours in.
Yeah, I was waiting for that.
So Billy Schweim is on the clock.
I am on the clock.
Yeah, Bill. Now, when you're thinking, don't be silent.
With the 26th pick overall.
Yeah, Bill, you got, by the way, 3 Flyers,
3 Flyers,
1 Sixer, 1 Philly, and 1 Eagle. So you're allowed 2 more Eagles, 2 more Phillies, or 2 more Sixers. So no more Flyers. Flyers roster should be shut.
Mm-hmm. For him.
Yeah, for him, yeah. The PT can keep going.
Oh, yeah, I got 2 more I can pick.
You're thrilled.
Yes, sir.
So far, Bill, Zach Ertz, Claude Giroux, Vincent Velasquez, Nerlens Noel, Michael Neuvert, Jake Voracek, and this pick right here. And by the way, you can send us a text message to interact with us during the draft, 609-403-0973. We'd love your feedback on our team so far. What do you think of the draft?
Well, Mike, I know this guy's struggling right now, but I believe in him. He's got a great curveball.
Uh-oh.
I'm going to take Aaron Nola.
Wow. You know what? I think that's a really good pick and probably something that we should have.
If you get the Aaron Nola from the beginning of the season, you're a genius. If you get the Aaron Nola the last 5 or 6 starts, you're in trouble.
Right, but keep in mind, he will also have now had an off season, and you'll get him at the beginning of next year too. So now in like his 3rd season, his 2nd full season, maybe he comes out next year and starts off 6-1 or something like that. I think Nola's a pick that all 3 of us probably overlooked a little bit.
That does happen.
Good pick, Bill.
I was thinking Nola before those last 2 picks.
I only speak the truth. If I think you make a bad pick, I will let you know. And if I think
he
you
does,
make a good
Pete.
pick,
He will let you know, doesn't he?
When he picked Ryan Matthews, I was thinking Nola as one of my next 2 picks. But because he went Matthews with a guy that might not be here, then I thought Okafor, and then I thought, geez, at some point I better pick a Flyer. Maybe I better pick one they're forgetting about.
All right.
And Shen was that guy.
We got round 7 right now, closing out with Josh making his 7th pick here with Nelson Aguilar, his 6th-round pick. Josh, who are you following that up with?
I'm going to pick my final Eagle of the draft because I'm going to meet my maximum here. I'm going to pick the other safety, Malcolm Jenkins.
Ooh,
good pick.
Yeah, that's a good pick. In fact,
possible Pro Bowl.
Somebody tweeted at me and said, how come nobody's taken Jenkins yet? And, he's a guy that, realistically, you could make a case for he should have gone ahead of Rodney McLeod. He's been on this
as a matter
team.
of fact, I would have picked him over, he's higher on my board.
All right, we got round 8, 9, and 10 coming up. Let's give a quick little briefing to everybody out there. All right, Josh is on the board. He's got Ghost, Herrera, Rodney McLeod, Wayne Simmons, Jared Eichhoff, Nelson Aguilar, Malcolm Jenkins. Billy picked 3rd. Josh picked 4th. Billy picked 3rd. He took Zach Ertz, Claude Giroux, Vincent Velasquez, Nerlens Noel, Michael Neuvert, Jake Voracek, and Aaron Nola. I was the 2nd pick. I took Fletcher Cox, Joel Embiid, Maikel Franco, Ivan Provorov, Jordan Hicks, Ryan Matthews, and Dario Saric. And the PT had the 1st overall pick, who he selected with.
I shocked you guys with that 1st pick. I shocked the listeners with
Ben
that 1st
Simmons
pick.
was the number 1 overall pick in our draft. He took Simmons, Bradford, Carson Wentz, J.P. Crawford, Jordan Matthews, Jaleel Okafor, and Braden Shen. So they are the 4 teams. Send us a text message, 609-403-0973. Who is having the best draft so far as Josh opens up our 8th round?
So I'm not feeling too confident in what I have left over on the Phillies and Sixers rosters. So I am going to go back to the Flyers and use my final thing I can use from the Flyers. I am going to take Nick Cousins.
Nick Cousins.
Nick Cousins.
Guy that the Flyers are really high on. He's undersized, Josh. He's not the tallest center, but he's got great vision. So if the award was for who's going to have the most assists on the Flyers next season, Nick Cousins could be that guy. If it's going to be the guy that's going to score the most goals, Nick Cousins will not be that guy. But he's going to set a guy up, and maybe he could end up with a big season. So,
Schweimer gave him a thumbs down. He gave me a thumbs down.
I gave him a thumbs down. I like his hustle, but he's undersized.
Well, here's the thing, Billy. Here's the
Danny
thing.
Briere was undersized.
Yeah, but he's not. He's no Danny Briere.
Danny Briere's a finisher. Nick Cousins is a
This guy's
setup
more
guy.
of a role player than anything else.
Here's my issue, and that is I would go with Sean Couturier, but I'm worried about the injuries.
There's Josh giving names out.
It's fine.
My prediction was Josh would be the first.
What's that?
Giving names that haven't been drafted.
Oh, okay.
That's beautiful.
That wasn't me.
I'm just all right. Bill, you're on the board.
I am on the clock.
By the way, while Bill's thinking, because we know
Bill
there's
can't think out loud.
There's like a piece of wood banging in his head right now.
You can smell the smoke.
Montreal traded PK Subban for Shea Weber, so Weber's going to Montreal.
Right. I think
That's
that
Scotty Mellenby working on that deal.
Shea Weber, by the way, remember the Flyers made him that restricted offer a couple years ago.
Thank God
he
that never
elected
went
to
through,
stay
right?
in Nashville.
Right?
Look, Shea Weber is an unbelievable hockey player, but I also think he's an older guy, and I think that PK Subban has more upside at this point in his career.
My question is for you, as Bill's still thinking over here.
Mm-hmm.
I've got my pick.
Are you glad that deal never happened for the Flyers?
Sometimes the best deals are the ones you don't make. Yes, I would be.
How about you, Bill?
Yeah.
I'm paying attention to my pick here, Mike. What was your question?
Are you happy that the Flyers made that offer to Shea Weber a couple of years ago? Are you now, in hindsight, happy that he did not sign, that they did not get, that Nashville matched that deal?
Yes. In hindsight, 2020, yes.
Because at the time we all wanted it, right?
Absolutely. Everybody wanted it.
And now you're
everybody.
happy,
And
right?
now I'm happy.
Okay.
You ready for,
Shea Weber, 30 years old. PK Subban, 27.
are you ready for my pick, Pete?
How old are you, Bill?
Bated breath right here.
You ready for my pick?
Yes.
I'm going to go back to the Eagles. Darren Sproles.
Oh, Darren Sproles.
You like that, Josh?
Darren
pick.
Sproles. You're taller than Darren Sproles.
Not as fast, though.
No.
Darren Sproles, and look, I took Matthews. You can, substitute Sproles in there.
And he's going to get a lot of touches.
Yeah, which
especially
back
in
is
this
going to be
offense.
the more impact, Sproles or Matthews, right? I mean, that's
right.
really what it's going to come down to here, which will put me on the clock. And, the guy that I'm going to take right here is I'm taking a chance here, another chance. But at this stage of the game, you almost have to do that. And I'm going to go with Nick Williams because
That's it.
I think Nick Williams will be up here soon, although his recent outbursts down in the minors aren't helping him out. But if he's not up here
Doghouse.
soon, he'll be a September call-up at the very least, and I think he'll start the season next year with the Phillies. So I'm taking a chance that Nick Williams will have a good April, May, June next year and a good September this year that will make us all be talking about him coming up.
You're walking out on a limb there, though, I got to tell you.
Yeah, well, it's the 8th round.
There's a lot of projections. Now, listen, I'm locked out on Eagles, so I can't take any more. But I'd like to private message Billy an Eagle that I think you should take. That way,
He's giving him things.
Come on, Pete, send it, baby. I got you.
this is, can you read what I'm writing here, Gill? Can you read this?
Yes.
All right. With the 31st overall pick and late in the
That's a good
round
one,
here,
Peter.
Travis Konechny. I'll take Travis Konechny, who is currently playing for the Sarnia Sting in the OHL, but is about to come up and light it up for the Philadelphia Flyers.
Now, Bill, when Josh said Nick Cousins gave me a thumbs down, this one, he gave me a thumbs up.
Yeah, well,
And I'll tell you why, because he was most valuable player out there?
yeah, just absolutely tore it up in the OHL this past season.
Mike, during the course of the hockey season, didn't I send you video footage of Travis Konechny? Very crafty.
Now he's coming off an injury. I will say that he got himself hurt late in the season, but
Not significant.
no, it's just a shoulder. Tim Kerr played with one shoulder.
That's right. Are you sending me an instant message, Pete, on who I should take?
Yeah, I'll figure out a way to do that. Yeah.
We're all
Come on, I'm
counting
stuck reading my newspaper here.
All right, I also am
Oh, that's
tapped
right.
out.
Let me send it to the Daily News. Where do I send the message to? 4100 Broad Street? I actually literally was like, oh, Billy's such a sweet guy. Let me help him. Wait a second. He's not in our group. Like, where am I going to send it to? Mars?
No, he is in.
I'm in
he's
there.
in
Come
he's
on,
in there.
Pete.
But then everybody else will see that I sent it to you.
That's right. That's
And
right.
you wouldn't know if I sent it
That's
to you
right.
quietly.
That's right.
All right, Sports Bash 97.3
I'll just write it down on my
ESPN.
hand.
We're having our Sports Bash draft, having a lot of fun here. All right, we're at a spot where I can't take any more Eagles.
Well, hold on. Doesn't PT have another pick here?
Yes, PT, you have another pick.
Oh, I got so excited about Travis Konecny, I forgot to make my second pick.
Mm-hmm.
And Aaron Noel's already gone. Schweimer took him.
Nola.
It's hard when you get to this point of the draft because, like, especially, well,
Be creative.
How many Sixers do I have?
Pete, you have 2 Sixers. You got Simmons and Okafor.
Simmons and Okafor, and we know that most of the other guys are gone, and we don't know what the rest of the roster is going to look like, right?
Well, right, and I mean, free agency, this is where the one spot it's kind of hard for basketball is that free agency hasn't happened yet.
Right.
So, you're not, those guys will not be on a roster. But there's always going to be some fluidity to a season.
Right, and you know that I'm not a huge fan of Jeremy. Did somebody take Jeremy Hellickson?
No.
Oh. Then that's who I'll take.
He's dropping names again.
Yeah.
Well, if I said his name, I feel obligated to take him.
Now, Pete, there's a guy that I looked at Phillies to trade at the deadline.
Yeah, well, he's going to have some value.
I really believe so.
Well, yeah, I think he's obviously a guy that the Phillies are going to try to move. But, hey, he's one of those guys. He was a very good guy. Pete doesn't like him because when he works at Comcast, they keep him there all night because he's slow.
Yeah, he's like Jamie Moyer.
He's a very effective pitcher. He is what he is. He's a middle of the rotation guy, but the Phillies need him at the top of the rotation.
And he's somebody that, teams going at the end of the year, in the playoff hunt, he could be filling in for somebody that's injured. I think he's a solid.
Well, he's that guy that a team that's a contender that looks for somebody at the back end of their rotation.
Can you draft Brett Brown?
You want to take the coach most likely to be fired in the city? Sports Stats 97.3. All right.
Who's the most on the hot seat?
My 9th round pick here. I can't take a Eagle. I can take one more Philly, and I'm going to go with Genmar Gomez. I mean, he was leading the leagues in saves.
All right,
I'm surprised he lasted this long.
Right? I mean, he was leading the league in saves for a little while. He had his 21st save last night, and he might be the Phillies all-star representative. Now, the problem is he could be a trade candidate, too. He was the other guy I was talking about when I said I was thinking between him and Okafor at one point, and then I decided they both could be traded. So, and I ended up going with Dario Saric in that spot.
Yeah. Well, I think that's a solid pick out of the 3 of those.
All right. Well, you're on the board.
All right. Oh, boy. Let's see. What do I have? 2. I got 1.
Bill, you have
2 Eagles.
You have 2 Eagles.
I already have 2 Eagles.
You have 2 Phillies. You have 3 Flyers and 1 Sixer.
So I go Eagles, Phillies.
You can't take a Flyer. That's
just
it.
Can't take a Flyer.
Yep, that's it.
All right, let me look at
I could hear the hamster running around there. Ching, 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 ching. Who will he take? By the way, Andrew
you guys
Luck,
are all going off. Like, you guys, obviously, you're taking guys that might not even be on the team, on the rosters next year. I don't know if I'm willing to do that until my last pick, so I might.
Andrew Luck, by the way, 6-year, $140 million, $32 million signing bonus, $12 million salary, and $3 million 2017 roster bonus that's guaranteed. 6 years, $140 million.
Wow. Andrew Luck. That's the go. I mean, that's above the going rate, but every time you hear a new deal, you hear the guy that gets the most money.
I'm going to take my 3rd Eagle. I'm going to go defense, Connor Barwin.
Oh, I thought she said Connor Barwin wasn't a nice guy.
I didn't say that.
I thought that was you.
All right, Connor
said that.
Connor Barwin it is.
Connor Barwin does so much in the community. He builds playgrounds.
He's a great guy.
Come on, Billy.
No, I never said that, Pete. Where are you making
Now,
that
is Billy
stuff
closed out on Eagles?
That was his last
Is
Eagle.
anybody else closed out on Eagles? Me, right?
And me as well.
And me.
So everybody's closed out on Eagles.
There's no more Eagles going to be taken.
Leotis McKelvin, Billy, was the words I was trying to mouth to you.
Okay.
Because the Jim Schwartz defense, and
you know
I
what?
figured that he came over from Buffalo,
By the way,
and he could have a big year. But you took Connor Barwin, so enjoy your playground, and, God bless you.
By the way,
you can ride the subway with him. Go
I want to
green.
straighten that out. I never said he was a bad guy. He's a great guy, actually. Does a lot for the community.
I'm just breaking your stones.
Connor Barwin, by the way, I probably would have gone with Vinny Curry over. We don't even know if Barwin's going to be a full-time player. I would have gone with Leotis McKelvin, probably over him as well.
Yeah, now, and of course, hindsight being 2020, I can't take him because I locked myself out with the wham, bam, thank you, ma'am of Bradford and Wentz.
Yeah, well, I'm just thinking about, Barwin's a guy in this defense that might be a little, stuck in the middle. But I like Vinny Curry in this defense. Another guy who I thought would be interesting that nobody ended up taking, as all the Eagles have been taking, you can't take one, is nobody took Wendell Smallwood. He could be the running back that ends up having the most touches on this team.
Of course you'd like the West Virginia guy.
How about Brandon Graham?
He's kind of in the Barwin role, where he's kind of what's his role?
See, that's why I stayed away from the defensive ends, because I was worried about what the rotation would be.
Yeah, Barwin and Graham are kind of the guys I think are kind of on the outside looking in behind Curry, who is the real,
But the Eagles' defense, a lot of these players are interchangeable.
Sure.
Just because one starts doesn't mean that they get more time than the other.
Absolutely. I think of the three, I think Barwin might be the odd man out behind Graham and Curry. But we'll see. We got training camp coming up. All right, we'll take a timeout after Josh's pick here, and then we'll each have our final pick on the other side. But, Josh, your 9th-round pick is?
Well, I have to take a Sixer. And since all the other Sixers have been taken up, I kind of see who else took what before I had to wait this long. I'm not comfortable making this pick because there's been rumors he might get traded, but I do feel like of all the guys left, he has the most value to be playing this year who's left on the roster, and that's Robert Covington.
Yeah, Robert Covington. I was, wondering if someone was going to grab him because you're right. He's the best shooter on this team, Josh. So with all these big men, he could be the guy that prospers the most. But he also could be traded. So if he gets traded, he's kind of out of the loop.
He was mentioned as a possible name in the trade night for draft night.
He's also a stat sheet stuffer. So he gets he gets rebounds, he gets some assists, he does a lot of different things.
All right, so Robert Covington is Josh's lone Sixer so far.